Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. All right, today is Wednesday, July the 26th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a 6. It was solid. And that's not a bad rating. That's not a bad rating for Young and the Restless, honestly. Let's get into it. Who do we want to go to first? Y'all, let's go to this man over here, which is Nate, because he was giving it to everybody on this episode. Now, Nate is not my favorite character, but I'm not biased, and I love that he is confident in himself. So, first of all, he comes to the door, he getting ready to go to the work because he gonna be the big dog at Newman Enterprise, right? But Audrey is there at the door. She said, "Oh, I saw that you ordered a new suit," and I said, "I'll bring it up or whatever." And she said, "So everything's going good?" And he was like, "Yeah, Victoria's out. I'm gonna be running things and all that, yada yada yada. It is what it is." And he tells her he gotta go. He gotta finish getting ready and stuff. And she was like, "Okay." And so he leaves, right? And then he goes into the office looking all nice and stuff, got him a little clean cut and everything, goes into the office, sits down. He sits down in the chair and he likes it. He likes the way that chair feeling on his tushy, right? And Nick comes in and Nick is like, "Ugh, what you doing here? Oh, you already trying to take," and he was like, no. Victoria's out. The kids out there had a business trip, so I'm put in charge like a COO would be, technically. But he says, "Oh," so Nick says, and I'm sure you were just happy to do it." And so Nate got up and he said, "Like, what's the problem here? Because I'm tired of dealing with your anger and resentment." I said, "Oh, that chair really got to you, and that new suit, that's what got to you, Nate." He said, "Because I'm tired of dealing with it. You know what it really is? It's the fact that I have ambition and goals and was going after mine and rose to the top of this company where your lack of it got you put over there with Adam or whatever." And I said, "Okay." Okay. And Nick was like, "I don't trust you. And I'm gonna keep my eye on you." And he was like, "I don't have time for this, Nick. Do what you want to do." I mean, that's not what they were saying, but that's what I heard. He was like, "I don't have time for you, Nick. Do what you want to do, but I'm gonna be sitting over here involved with your sister running this company with your father backing me." And what? That's what I heard. And so Nick left because what can you say? Daddy is backing him. Now, Nate did talk to Victor earlier, and Victor let him know, like, "Sir, you're not gonna be, ain't nobody who does not have the last name Newman will never run this company." I said, "Shh, you thought, Victor. I don't know. Nate got plans, child. Nate got plans." This is about to be an Ashland log, but Nate about to do what Ashland couldn't do, and he about to seal the deal and go ahead and run Newman Enterprise. I don't care what anybody say. I feel like that's what's going to happen. And if it's not going to happen, that's what they need to let happen. So I want Victoria to come down a peg or two. That's what they need to let happen. Her once again. Lord, let me not keep it. Victoria once again falling for a man that don't really want her. He wants her company. Anyways, child. So they done had enough of people. So he go out, and I guess it's later on in the day because he at, where Neil had his dedicated Neil's lounge and everything. And he's trying to have I think that's where he was. But anyways, he's trying to have a little drinky drink. But he talking to Victoria. He said, "I got it under control. Here, you take care of what you want to." Now Billy shows up, and Billy says, "I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I heard your conversation." And he says, they start talking about Victoria, and Nate starts talking to Billy about how Victoria can take care of herself, and because Billy tells Nate, "Oh, it seems like you're mixing personal with business." He said, "Didn't you do the same thing with Lily?" I said, "Nate be ready for people, and that's how you supposed to be. If somebody gonna come for you, you got to be ready to be able to come for them too." And Nate be ready. What is that? Nate be ready to come for him or whatever. So he says the same way you was able to do it, I'm able to do it as well. And it wasn't a problem then. So why you so mad about me doing it? He said, "Well, Victoria is the mother of my child, and I'm always gonna be protective for her." And they said she don't need coddling, and maybe that's why you're not with her now. Because you don't really know who she is. Baby, he tapped that phone on the table and said, see ya. And he leaves, right? So then he's at the office later on, and he's making business, doing business and stuff. And he tells them, "I'm the point of person until Victoria gets back, so don't even worry about it. Just hit me up." And Audra comes in and she said, "Oh, it looks good on you." And he said, "Well, the suit must be working." He said, "Well, I ran into Nick, and then Victor let me know nobody without the name Newman was ever gonna run the company." And she said, "So you need to do what you need to do, which is take your relationship with Victoria to another level." I said, "All right, Victoria." Anyways, child, let's move on. Y'all can tell me what you think in the comments. So then we go over here and we see Victor talk to Jill, and he lets her know that he is, "Ma'am, go play with your car somewhere else, please." Car. Yes. He lets her know that he lets her know that he offered Sally a job, and Sally probably gonna take it. And Jill said, "Well, I guess I'll tell Lily." And she said, and hold on, y'all. So he lets her, she said, "I know why you doing this. You wanted to keep Sally close." And Victor always got a plan. Like, how could you be around Victor? Because I would be paranoid to be around him because it's always something. Like, you never get the true him. You know what I mean? Anyways, child. But anyways, that's pretty much it with him and Jill. So then we see that Nick, before he ran into Nate, Nick was talking to Sally, and she's concerned. She's thinking about taking Victor's deal, but he tells her, Victor's always wanting something, and he believes it's just for him to keep an eye on Sally. But Nick ends up having to leave or whatever because he had a meeting with Adam, and Sally ends up going to Crimson Light where she sees Adam. And so they sit down and talk, and he tells her he came by and he figured she didn't open the door for him, but she opened the door for Nick. So that means she didn't want to see him. And she said, "Actually, I was in bed when you came by, and it wasn't anything personal." And she said she's seen her family did let her know that he had a loss too, and that she could be a little friendlier to him because he went through something as well, and he's appreciative of that. And so she starts telling him about Victor's you know uh, his deal, his job offer that he offered her, and he's said the same thing as Nick did. Victor never offers anything without wanting something in return, or having some type of motive. And anyways, Nick ends up coming by, and she lets them both know that she's going to take Victor's offer. Of course, she's going to talk to Chloe, but she's thinking about really considering his offer. And so I was like, okay, let's move on, child. So then we go over here with Jack and Diane, and Billy comes. So they sit Billy down, and Diane tells the plan, which is for Jack and Billy to have a fight. And then Billy starts working with Ashley, and pretending that that he and Jack and Billy will pretend to have a fight so that Billy can get in with Ashley to figure out what she's going to do and try to sabotage her from the inside. And Billy said, "Okay, this will work." And then Jack starts talking about, "But I don't want you to get enticed by what they have to offer you and a position and all this." And Billy was like, "Wait a minute. I'm helping you out." He said, "It's not going to be that hard because you are picking Diane over what's best for Jabot." And Billy said, It's not going to be that hard for me to pretend to be mad at you because of all that. Like, I don't agree with this whole war you're going to, and how you put Diane in this position of power at Jabot. I don't agree with most of this stuff." So they actually sit right there and start going at it for real. And Diane was like, no, this plan was not to cause y'all to be mad at each other. It's just people supposed to be pretend so that we could get bring Ashley down, or make her stop coming after Jabot. And Billy says, "It's in your eyes, Jack, I'll always be like a screw up, pretty much. And your eyes, I'll always be this screw up." And he doesn't like that his brother looks at him like that, but he's like, it is what it is. And so they calm down, and Billy says, I'll tell you when we are gonna have this pretend fight and all that, or whatever. And Billy ends up leaving, and Jack and Diane talk. And she says, "I don't want to cause a rift between you and your brother." Then you shouldn't have came up with this idea, because I feel like that's exactly what's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen with this storyline, but I don't know. But anyways, Child, the next thing we know, Jack is talking to Diane and he tells her he don't want to wait for their wedding. He wants to go ahead and elope now. Go ahead into the justice of the peace and get married now. And she was like, "What?" And I said, "Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't trust Diane, and I don't care what y'all be saying. Diane has lied since she got on this show, since she came on this show, and people like to blame other people for their past, like Phyllis, and Ashley and all them, acting like Diane has no past and she didn't do things as well when she did. So when you're pointing the fingers at her, remember them as well, because I'm not biased when it comes to these reviews. If I like somebody, even if they're doing wrong, I'll still say they're doing wrong. But it is what it is. But Diane did what she wanted to do, which is get back into Jack's good graces and get the ring on her finger. And you did it, girl. Because Jack is head over heels, nose wide open for Diane. And that's what it is. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.